Good evening, everyone. My name is Gulshan Memoria. I'm the founder and CEO of Inspired Valley. Under our Inspired Valley School initiative, we have started this initiative where every week we connect with educators across the country and we take one topic and to discuss and brainstorm on that topic. So today's topic is building resilience in students, fostering emotional strength and coping skills. To discuss this topic, we have some esteemed panelists with us. The very first speaker we have is Miss Archana Koul. She is a principal at DAV Centenary Public School, Ghaziabad. Next speaker we have Miss Dipinder Kaur. She is the principal at Lions Public School, Gurugram. We also have Miss Jyoti Bhalla. She is a principal at Manaskriti School, Faridabad. And lastly, we have Mr. Shriharsha Joshi. He is the principal at Shree Swaminarayan Gurukul International School, Mysore. I welcome you all on our show. Let me initiate the conversation with asking the very first question with Miss Archana. Archana ma'am, resilience play a very vital role in students' emotional well-being and academic success. There is no doubt about this, right? So, can you share any specific strategies or programs that your school has implemented to build the resilience in students? Over to you.
Yeah, very good evening to the esteemed panelists, and thank you, Gulshan, for making me a part of this panel. See, resilience, according to me, is not a characteristic we are born with. So it's a mindset, and it is built over time. So you cannot tell a person or a child that this is what you have to have. This quality is what you have to have once you come to school. So, however, it's a change of mindset. It can be cultivated, by only by the people who are motivated intrinsically. It's not extrinsic; it's intrinsic, more of intrinsic.
Exactly.
And it's not only about the child, even the adults. See, we all are struggling with different type of stressors. So, resilience may mean different things to different people. Like, for example, we have a child who's an extrovert. For him, resilience may mean, going out with friends, walking around with his family members outside and not staying inside. Same way, a stress buster for a child who is, having some other kind of problems. For him, he's an introvert. For him, it might be just staying at home alone.
Exactly.
So we cope up with all these things with our own strategies. We try to imbibe whatever is there in our surroundings. So
Exactly.
there are some qualities which are already there, which can be, built up with some more efforts and practices. Like we can build up our confidence, we can build up our coping skills, we can build up our character. So these things can be built up. But what is there within you that you have to overcome? So, as a school, of course, I won't say that, we have had a perfect blend of social, emotional, and academic resilience. It's not possible
Exactly.
because every day is a new day. Every day we face new challenges.
Exactly.
It's a dynamic world. And we have seen what happened in last 2 years. The change is inevitable.
Exactly.
So, but still, to make it more beautiful, more student oriented, we have had a few strategies, a few programs, which is helping them to become more resilient and become a problem solver and skillfully, cope up with these issues.
Exactly.
So,
So, any specific strategy that you follow in your school,
Yeah.
please?
I would like to tell you in the primary wing, we have a mantra where we say, like we should compensate or we should always celebrate progress and not only, the success. So compliment every child's each and every step he is taking.
Wonderful.
Then we have a very good strategy of, analyzing their emotions, which we call as a feelings time, and
Feelings
wherein
time.
we do a feelings time. It's a quick emotional check-in. When we come in the school in the morning, the primary children, they raise up a placard and say, "Ma'am, today I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling happy, or I'm feeling energetic." So we have placards placed in the classroom, and
Okay.
when they go back home, again they pick up the placard that this is what I'm feeling when I'm leaving the school. So this has brought up a good change in the primary wing students.
That's a wonderful
Talking
suggestion.
about, yeah, talking about the middle section, we have kept a gratitude box. We
That's
just,
great.
we just started this before pandemic, but what happened last year, we were not able to follow this. We were facing our own situations, own resilience as adults. But this year again, we have started with where the child has to put in some slips to show his gratitude towards anyone he feels weakly. And then we
Wonderful.
have mentorship programs where we have to adopt a child. A teacher is adopting a child, not adopting in financial sense, but adopting to improvise his academic skills and his behavior. Then there is peer mentorship. We have life skill programs, and of course, being a DAV school, we have a conclusion of or a culmination of meditations and of course the havans. These things are a common
Bring you
affair of
more
all the
connected with
schools.
your culture, I would rather
Yes,
say.
yes,
Wonderful.
yes, it
Thank you
is.
so much, Mr. Ma'am, for sharing these wonderful strategies. Now I will go to Mr. Joshi. Would you like to share some suggestions on how your school is preparing the students to build more resilience and break this stress?
Good evening to everyone. Thank you, Gulshan sir. Actually, resilience in the sense it has the ability to bounce back what they have, right? Uh, Whatever they have, suppose they have some adversity in the school, they have faced some problems, how they bounce back from there. I have a short story with that. There's a donkey which has fallen down in a big pit. So people are throwing stones on it, right? The donkey started thinking how to overcome. They started thinking that people are hitting me, but the same donkey can think in that way by using those stones. It can come out. These kind of habits, if a child develops, it will be more better. Thing is encouraging them in a growth mindset means they should not feel that I'm not growing. They should feel that I'm growing. Yes, the growth mindset has to be updated to them. So they should feel
Exactly.
that yes, I'm growing. In emotionally, I'm growing. Physically as well as mentally, I'm growing. By this way, the child can move more better. Then we need to set some short-term goals to them, the realistic goals which can be which can they can achieve it. By achieving a goal, the child feel that yes, they build that self-confidence. By building the self-confidence, they can do more better in their life.
So helping them to make more smart goals, I would rather say.
Yes,
This is
yes.
abbreviation of smart is
Yeah,
specific, measurable.
that
Yes.
must be realistic, sir. The realistic goals should be given to them. That makes child to understand and he can achieve it also.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mr. Joshi, for sharing these wonderful suggestions. I would like to have views with Jyoti ma'am. Jyoti ma'am, would like to share your views, being the principal of one of the most reputed school in Faridabad. So I'm sure that you people are doing some wonders in your school.
Yeah, we're trying to. Thank you so much. Good evening to each, one and all, everybody present over here. Yes, resilience is all about mindset, which Archana ma'am had took it up very well, and with Shriharsha sir speaking for that. That's a wonderful story about a donkey and getting into the pit, and then that's a very relevant story. So yes, it's capacity building. As the name of our school itself brings in Manaskriti, Man ki Sundar Kriti, that everything starts from the mindset. If we all are positive, then everything is going to fall back as positive. Yes, every day there is a challenge in the school. So what we have done is, Gulshan sir, every day we have a Umang slot in the morning. We don't start with English, Hindi, and maths. We start the day with the Umang slot. So every day in the Umang slot, we have self and social skills for teachers to take it up with the children. We either tell them a story, we either do a workshop, or we do some type of a situations where we give it to the children and we ask them to check themselves that how will you behave. So we have just started these small little things in our school. Our school is 5 year old, but still things are picking up. We have just started a drive on how to bring empathy and compassion by starting a drive for roti for the guy. So when we had Mother Earth, so we thought of that why not have it on the Panch Tattva, that is Mother Earth. So we thought of that every day a child is going to bring a roti and we are going to send it to the Gaushala. And it is picked up so well that every day children are bringing a roti and we are sending it up to Gaushala. So all these things do bring a lot of positivity and
Exactly.
resilience in these children when they face situations. Mentor mentee program, yes, it goes on in the senior grades and it really helps. Circle time in the junior classes, early years, nursery KG, there also it works. So all these small little procedures, schedules really help a child. Another thing which I've seen in my school is that we have a lot of we give emphasis on meet and greet programs where the teachers are required to narrate a story, as what Shriharsha sir was saying. So we narrate moral value stories to the children. Then other next week, the children have to talk about any moral story what they have heard from their nani, dadi, and so that we all share and come up with new type of situations and how to handle those situations. So all these
Wonderful.
are small little
So wonderful
initiatives.
suggestions. Thank you so much. Yeah, now lastly, Dipinder ma'am, would you like to share some examples from your school?
Okay, good evening, everyone. And I'm very happy to be part of this panel. Like we all were discussing over here about children being resilient, how they are to be taught resilience. I mean, all of you have quoted such wonderful examples, which are very practical and being taken up. So I feel like resilience is directly related to self-esteem and self-concept.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So in order to, build up the resilience in my school, what I do, first of all, I'd like to say that there are two pillars in a child's life who have to support them very
Mm-hmm.
strongly. One is the teachers and then the parents. So
Exactly.
they have to work in tandem in order to build up strong resilience in every child.
Mm-hmm.
So what we do is we invite parents for special assemblies, and they are involved. They see how their children are working, how they are doing in the school. So they're also, they know how their child is doing, and at times each child may not be given the best position in the assembly or the best role in the assembly.
Mm-hmm.
So the child also realizes that someday this person is being given a major position, and sometimes the other child is given a major position. So they understand, I mean, everybody doesn't have to be in the forefront. The
Hmm.
people working in the background also, so their role is also important. So they learn that every role is important, and that helps in building resilience in them. It
Mm-hmm.
is not that only they have to be in the forefront, like the new generation parents think like that.
Hmm.
So this is one way of showing them that we have to work together in tandem and bring about such confidence and self-esteem in children.
Wonderful. So I'm sure that you're also organizing a lot of parents orientation program about
Yes,
this
yes,
thing.
yes, yes. So
Wonderful.
this is what this is. Yeah, I'll come to that later on. You can carry on with the other
Yeah,
this thing.
I just wanted to discuss one more thing because I think that it is a high time for all the educator to discuss this problem. See, a lot of students, those who are in like ninth standard onwards, they prepare for some comparative examinations, right? And the situation is really grim. When I say grim, that I mean it because when I check it out the data, it really can say थोड़ा problem create करता है like this year 20.3 lakh students give the NEET examination, right? And only 1 lakh 40,000 seats are available. And that too, just government, semi-government institutions. But everybody want to go to AIMS, right? And only 7 AIMS are in that country with 700 seats. This create a lot of burden on the, you can say, students mind and shoulders, and also as an educator, as a principal, it also create a onus on our understanding then how we are preparing the students to face this kind of examination. This is just one example that I've portrayed. So how as an educator, how as a principal, you are cultivating this practice or anything with a student mindset that okay, whatever the result would be, that you have to be resilient and you have to face the pressure and you have to go through with all these things. Life is not just end for one examination. So is there any other thing which is in principle that you are taking care of? Would love to hear some examples from your side. Anyone can raise the hand. I would give them the opportunity. Yes, Archana ma'am, please.
Yes, we have one program which we usually take it up in once a month, and which is called Let's Talk. And this
Hmm.
is a program which goes on with the principal and the vice principal separately. The children can come and talk about their phobias, about their mental pressure, and they can release their burden in front of us, which they
Hmm.
cannot talk even in front of the counselor sometimes, or not even in front of their parents. So then our work starts. Then we have to invite their parents, talk to them what the child is facing, how we can overcome his problems or his issues. So this program has really worked in my school.
So this is
Like,
an anonymous program or this
uh,
in front of you? Because sometimes what happens, not everyone is too comfortable experiencing their mental state of mind. I mean,
it's
in
one on one. It's one on one.
okay,
I
one
don't call
on
the
one.
whole group
Okay,
together. No, 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 no. It's one on one.
it's one on
Not
one.
the whole group together.
Wonderful. Yes, Jyoti ma'am, please.
Uh, Wonderful question that you had put it, Gulshan. That this is something which is very important, that children are nowadays not able to accept any
Exactly.
type of a discouragement or some type of an, if they are not able to appreciate or achieve anything. The best and the first thing that we all do is that in our school we engage grade 9 to 12 in a lot of sports activities.
Hmm.
Sports is something which really makes a child feel, yes, every time there is not success, every time there is no win, one will win and one will, the other has to lose. Now the team that loses 100%, that means that team has to set its target, focus it more, so that that team becomes the winning team next time. So this has also worked, and I've got a lot of cricket. I have a cricket club in my school, and that really works it out that way. So yeah, I'm trying to teach them about winning and achieving through cricket matches, and at times it works also. And otherwise, as Archana ma'am said, that she has one-on-one programs for the parents to counsel them. I have a other way around. I have coffee mornings with my parents and
Hmm.
children who face these type of issues. Then we make the HOD sit, the career counselor person to sit. I
Hmm.
also sit, and then we try to map up the roadmap for that child. That only one per target was not the thing. There are other alternative careers also for you, which you can also achieve it with this much percentage of grades and the marks.
That's wonderful. It's a very lovely suggestions. Even one more suggestion I would like to, give it to everyone. See, career counseling is now it's very confusing and can say it's बहुत सारे career options है
Huh.
currently. So it's not advisable just to organize 1 or 2 days career sessions for anyone. Like
One.
so, you ask all the teachers to get trained on a specific career streams, and it has to be a continuous program rather just 1 and 2 days program, because many career options are right now, and this the trend just not the conventional one but the unconventional career options. After
Yes.
10th or after 12th, many people are pursuing the unconventional career options.
Yes.
Over to you, Dipinder ma'am,
Okay, in continuation to the career
please.
counseling that you were just now mentioning. So in my school is a 31-year-old school, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So how I try to build up the resilience is for the career counseling, I call the alumni of my school.
Hmm.
Oh, yes.
So, like, this is something very nice, I feel, because last week, I mean, now for class 11 and 11 especially, I'm having these career counseling sessions every day. We have one. So, last week only, there was one child. He is in the external affairs ministry. So, he started, his aim was to become a good engineer. So he did crack the basic level of the engineering this thing. But after working in some company for a few years, he then did his MBA again. After some time, after a few years, he even went abroad. Then he came back. He did his law, and then he got into this Ministry of External Affairs. He was posted at New Zealand, and he's just been posted back. So when you have these one-to-one talk,
Yeah.
especially from the alumni, that is, I think, one of the best things to build up resilience and foster that strong support that
Exactly.
the school can give to the children.
Student will also get to know कि यार ठीक है मैं if you are if you got 60% marks in your 12th or 70%, because recently what I've seen on LinkedIn on any of the areas or social media handles, every school was boosting about 90 or 95%, because but rest 70% the people have got less than 80% marks, like भैया वो भी कुछ ना कुछ करेंगे. And life is not only okay you have taken one decision, you can stick to it perfectly, which Dipinder ma'am have said that the person has done it this and this. Then he came back and pursued law, then went to the Ministry of External Affairs. So it's okay if you have done it this thing. There are multiple options after
Yes,
that as well.
yes,
And moreover,
yes.
when they hear out with someone who has the kind of same experience or the same background, they have more confidence in it.
Yeah.
Yes,
Correct.
over to you, Mr. Joshi. You want to add your point, please?
Yeah. So just I'll add
Please.
two, 3 points. See, as I told you earlier, like failure is the students might be failed in the NEET examination. What they fail, they are thinking that I've failed in their examination and I have failed their life. But we need to tell the students that failure is an opportunity.
Hmm.
Failure is an opportunity. Suppose the child failed in NEET, they can do some other thing which is good for them.
Exactly.
Like for that reason, what we are following it from the 8th standard onwards, we'll talk as Madam said, 1 to 1. We will ask them to set a goal, what they want to become. We will give it option, 3 options we will give it. So usually child choose one. I'll become an IPS officer, I'll become an IAS officer. I'll tell them not to see one. You have to choose 3 options. If you fail one, you have a second option. If you fail second, you'll have a third option. Like
Exactly.
that, life has an option. You can go for it and you can achieve it. Because the child has their abilities. They should know their abilities. Then they
Exactly.
can do more better.
For an example, I also give you that example. Suppose one person want to become an army officer, right? So for army, there are two ways through which that he or she can become. Majorly two ways. There are a number of ways other than this. So for this NDA examination, there are 10 attempts, right? NDA attempts every year, there are 2 attempts. So 6 attempts are there. For this CDS examination, there are 10 attempts. So when army is giving you 16 attempts to become an army officer, they would have given you only one attempt कि भैया fail या फिर pass, that's it. There's only one way, but they are giving you 16 attempts to become an army officer. There are many people those could not have been able to, you can say, clear this ND examination, then later in their life they become the army officer through CDS. So there are many ways through which you can become. This is just one way to avoid this thing. We've also another speaker with us, Miss Monika Rana. Miss Monika Rana, are you with us? Okay, fair enough. I'm sure. Yes. So, let me introduce her. Miss Monika Rana. She is a special education teacher at IP International School, New Delhi. Welcome you, Miss Monika, on our show. We can't hear you. You need to sort it out. Let me ask this next question with Mr. Joshi. Mr. Joshi, emotional well-being and mental health are the key components of resilience. There is no doubt about this. So how does your school prioritize and support the students' emotional well-being with the curriculum and extracurricular activities?
You know, the mental health is very important for us. Like as we know that our Indian culture, based on the Indian culture, we have planned 3 components of our school. The one is Vidya and Sadvidya and Brahma Vidya. These 3 components, what we are doing, Vidya is a normal education, moral, like what we are giving that Vidya. Sadvidya is a thing which a child has to inculcate the samskar, the culture.
The value education. Yeah, right.
Yeah, the value education that is to be inculcated apart from the normal or modern education. The third one we have Brahma Vidya, which will be like how we connect it to the God. How can we, by connecting the God or by the way of spirituality, what way we can go with the education, real education. These 3 things we have inculcated in our school, and which may help a child to cope up with the stress, as well as we are planning to have a meditation every day. The assembly will have a 5 minutes meditation. This meditation helps them to cope up the stress and concentrate more, which helps them more, what I feel.
That's wonderful. How about you, Archana ma'am? You taking any specific, you can say, activities kind of this thing to maintain this emotional intelligence or this emotional resilience?
Yes, I think I already mentioned about that we have meditation classes, plus we have the havans, which helps in the emotional well-being plus the tranquil mind. And this creates the positivity and the atmosphere becomes very good in the school. So we have a planned structure for all these activities.
So currently there are many challenges which are there, especially in the young students, like those who are creating their other identity on social media handles. I'm sure that as in principals you might have seen these kind of challenges. They have their own personality on, but physically, or you can say in the school, they lacks in the confidence, I would rather say, right? So how, because they mismatch with these two personalities, they have their own personality in the social media. So how you handle this kind of crisis? Anybody specifically, anyone have experienced this problem in your school?
I'd like to add over here. I
Please.
think the children have to be given that confidence that it is okay. Sometimes it is okay, especially as you grow, you mature also. So they have to be given that confidence that, there's a very thin line of what is right and what is wrong. So that it is that instilling confidence in them, that is first and foremost. That can be done, if you have an excellent counselor, or like Archana ma'am and Jyoti ma'am also said that you have one to one connect with the children. So that builds up their self esteem and self concept.
Hmm.
So if you connect to the child in that manner, so then they are very true to you, and they will not go haywire.
Hmm.
That is what I've experienced, I was a class teacher at one point of time. So I remember having a connect with my students. They were from humanities stream. They
Hmm.
were, I know children at that time. This two girls shared with me that they were beaten. They used to be beaten black and blue by their parents, or if they had had a crush on someone.
Hmm.
So
Exactly.
we had to kind of talk to them about it, and I think by end of the day they were fine. They were mentally very, very sound after that. So
Hmm.
you have to build up that connect. That's very important.
Exactly. This connection is very important. We need to give them more opportunities, right? Wonderful. Ashna ma'am, over to you. You want to add your point, please?
Yeah, I just wanted to add one thing over here. See, the generation nowadays, we call it Gen Alpha or Gen Z, right? And what we were at our times was Generation X. There is a gap of almost 30 odd years in between, 30,
Yes.
more than 30, 40 years. The times have changed.
Hmm.
We cannot compel them to do what we want them to do. So we
Hmm.
have to have a balance. We have to
That's a
create
perfect
that.
line. That's a perfect line. It takes a lot of courage
Yes,
to
a
understand
lot
this
of
thing.
courage. True,
Hmm.
true. So, it will be helpful if we regularly visit the rules and expectations we want from students.
Hmm.
They have to be told off and on, child, this is what we want, and this is what you have to do.
Hmm.
So, it's a repetition of things off and on. Otherwise, the things will go haywire. So, we have to
Totally agree.
maintain that balance.
You rightly pointed out. A lot of time, what happen when we grow older, when we mature ourselves, so we think, okay, now this thing is the best thing, and we always tell them in our conversations, okay, now this is the way, this is the way, this is the way. So subconsciously, we are telling our audience, I mean, as a teacher, as an educator, as an influencer, to okay, now this path is the right one. What you are doing probably is not the right path, but we might not know because we have not you can just seen that path in length, right? So again, for us, it creates kind of an understanding. Okay, we need to know that path as well. Wonderful. Miss Jyoti, over to you.
Yeah, Archana ji had very beautifully put it up.
Exactly.
Yes, children have to listen and learn.
Hmm.
Until unless they keep listening from us what we are expecting them to do, they will never learn also.
Hmm.
So until unless we also keep on talking about the same thing, in the similar situations in my school, we also have given a 80-minute slot in a week to the children, where it is called as language enhancement activity development program. When
Hmm.
I was penning down for this program for the children, it was not about that training them for debates, declamations, and competitions that we all have to do it up,
Hmm.
but also to train them on the life skills and the social skills, as I said previously also. So we put them into situations. We tell them that this is the ideal situation.
Hmm.
This is not a ideal situation. This is a crisis situation. Now, how you will be, how you are expected to do, and how will you behave.
Hmm.
So at time they tell, now yesterday only I think I gave it to 10th standard, that you have a school canteen. Now in your school canteen, what all you expect to do, school to do, and what do you want to do. So
Hmm.
100% the do's and the don'ts came, and we finally came up to a conclusion that this is how the school canteen should be. Ninth standard, I gave a topic to them, that how do you want discipline in the school assembly ground? What do you want us to do? How you
Hmm.
want us to do?
Hmm.
So taking few things from them, adding what we expect from them, and
Exactly.
then coming to a consensus where Archana ji had very well said, we will have to listen to them also, because we guys can't autocratically just put it up
It's
on
a good
them.
example of decentralization. I've studied in
Yes.
my masters.
So it's not a time to impose, it's a time to propose to these children.
Yes, yes, yes. It's because you have taken the experience from the students, the feedback from the students, and you have taken their points. They also feel empowered. That they've also
Yes.
feeling like have the feeling of you can say कि भाई मुझे भी सुना गया. ऐसा नहीं
हाँ,
है कि
सुना गया.
directly they have implemented their plans. Okay, Miss Monica, can you hear us? And can you would like to add your point here? First, you need to unmute yourself. We can't see you. We can't hear you. No, we can't. Yes, you need to unmute yourself. You've already unmuted. Try using a different. Maybe try using your phone. This thing is not working. I'll go to Dipinder ma'am then in that case. Okay, ma'am, I have another question for you. So cultivating the resilience required the involvement of teachers as well. There's no point about it. We have already discussed. So how does your school system support the professional development of teachers in fostering the resilience among students? So here we're talking specifically with the teachers development programs, specific because there are many things which are going on apart from the teaching. So are you organizing these kind of programs? If yes, what are those, and how you are building this kind of ecosystem in your school?
Yeah, I think like all schools, I mean, my school also has this programs for the teachers on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
And one more thing which I have found in my school specifically, that some kind of talk from the management side, especially the chairman. Like my chairman has changed this year.
Mm-hmm.
So when he talks to the teachers, the output is totally different. So the chairman also has a first-hand information from the teachers when he's interacting with them, and likewise the teachers also feel, yes, I mean, if you put across some point, we have somebody from the management who is directly talking to us. Somebody, not even somebody, it is the top person from the management who is really looking into their needs.
To give
And
them the
so,
confidence, I would rather say, right?
yes, that is what I wanted. That is one thing that we started this year.
Mm-hmm.
And apart from the regular workshop, that I think all schools do that, and also talks with the few parent
Okay,
few
those have
members of
different
the parent body,
expertise, kind of.
PTA body.
Okay.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes. So I have that, that is another second thing. And thirdly, from the different departments, each department, just before they break off for the summer vacation, they have these talks, or they organize sessions for all the teachers. So that way every department gets a chance to project their point and interact with other members of the staff. So these three things we generally do.
These things will create wonders. Over to you, Mr. Joshi. How you're taking care of any because I'm sure that you are a big chain of schools, so I'm sure that your management is more emphasizing on the teachers' professional development, different
First
areas.
of all, I'll tell you, like being a teacher, we are the first person to build a career of a student. First, what we have to do, teachers must know that what the child is. How can we train them? How can we teach them what best we can do? So now the generation has been changed. As Madam said, what the child need, that we have to do. What we want, that child doesn't require. Right? What the child required, that we have to go. For that, teachers training is very essential.
Exactly.
So for that, our branches, what they'll do, they'll call it a teachers training program, and they'll go for all kind of varieties of teaching program. Like for example, how to maintain the ethics and integrity in the school. What is the moral? How we can inculcate moral education in the school while teaching. Apart from that, how to manage a classroom. How to manage the classroom. That's important, right? Because classroom can be managed in such a way that 40 minutes or 50 minutes class, the only precious time we have with the kids. If you manage it in a best way, that's a better things to inculcate the excellence in the students.
That's wonderful. Recently, let me share one example. So I'm sure that you all have heard of a trust named Bhalla Education Trust. That's BITS Planning. So in BITS Planning, this Bhalla Education Trust is there, and they have 6 schools across India, specifically 4 in Pilani only, 1 is in Kishangarh, 1 is in Ganganagar. So recently I've got a chance to interact with your teachers just on 16th of May. So I was invited by the school chairperson as one of the speakers, and they have not just called me one of the speakers, they've called 10 resource person from across the country. And very beautifully, they have taken few of the teachers. For an example, in my batch, I was allocated with 45 teachers. My topic was communication strategies, and from every school, they have handpicked 7 teachers. One topic was their creative thinking. So they have taken 7 teachers handpicked from different batch. Like this, there are 10 workshop was going on simultaneously on 16th only. And later they have in-house workshops on 18, approximately 30 or 35 odd workshops. So everybody was training whatever they have learned, they have to train with the other teachers as well. So every information has been decentralized in a manner. Okay, that you have learned something, then it's your task to teach the other people also. So I'm sure, like being the big branch of the your school, Mr. Joshi, you can also implement this thing, and the other schools, I'm sure that you're also implementing these kind of things in your school. Over to you, Ms. Archana. You want to add your point, please?
Yeah, like DAV being a huge organization, we
Exactly.
have more than 950 schools running
Hmm.
across all over India. We already have this type of master trainer programs, the workshops for the teachers, for the support staff, and for all the even the office staff.
Exactly.
So these are the one is of course related to subjects, subject orientations. Another is for enhancing the
Hmm.
skills which are required to become a teacher.
Hmm.
So we have to give a tap on the teacher's back. No, excuse me, not only subject. Now you are an
नहीं अभी
educator.
तो मैम कर रहे हैं. There
You
are many
are a
schools, they are taking care
facilitator.
of these things. Like one of the
So
topic for our teachers training program is decoding productivity. So one of the most interesting topic. उसका एक concept है identifying the mental blocks and how to handle those mental blocks. Very common topic, but वो बहुत जल्दी ignore किया जाता है. So if the teachers got to know their mental blocks, then definitely they'll also help the students to identify their mental blocks, which
yes.
is the major roadblock in the growth trajectory, right? Over to you, Jyoti ma'am, how you are taking care of the professional development. Any other point apart from which all that we have
Yeah,
discussed?
professional development, 100%. We are taking it up very, very seriously. Along with the professional development, I also organize a lot of expert talks. Now,
Hmm.
for the expert talks, we take it up from the pool of our parents. Our
Hmm.
parents are also placed at various industries into various good, great institutions. So, at the time of admission only, we try to make up our pool of it. So, people, I have a parent who was with artificial intelligence, he's an entrepreneur in it. So, we
Hmm.
call those people who give us some talks, expert talks on these type of things, so that our teachers also learn from them, and they learn the right real time nuances, that how these things are being
Exactly.
practically used. No more those jargons. At times the jargons really confuse us, something which is doable. So expert talks, 100% we do it. And then taking up the help of the publishers, which many of our school
Hmm.
do it up, we ask them to, so that they send the resource persons to us, so that we have a good know-how how to use the book very productively with the children, and what all effective teaching strategies should
Hmm.
the teacher be using it up. And then also we tie up with many of this, especially the organization which is taking care of the psychometric skills of the children, and also for the wellness and counseling. So we have Dr. Jitinder Nagpal, who works with Moolchand Hospital here in Delhi. So we call people from there, because as you said, for mental blocks, I also feel mind blocks. I also feel if we undo our mental blocks, then 100% we can reach out to children also. It's very
Exactly.
difficult for teachers to undo their practices. Now, to
Hmm.
get to undo that, those specialists, we try to call them up from there. We do a lot of exercises, mental and physical activities, so that we all can work better with our children.
Hmm, wonderfully. Yesterday we had a session. So one of the principal gave the example, like for an example, a lot of teachers, they are hesitant to use the technology, right? So what she said, that instead of that we or other trainers training the teachers to use the technological tools, we have a separate section for the students, those who are organizing their training program for the teachers. Suppose one
That's so
student is
nice,
good
so
in Canva,
wonderful,
making the posters,
wonderful.
because nowadays Canva is for everyone, right? But again, the teachers who are at above 40, sorry to say this thing, but again, there's a general tendency, they restrict themselves not to learn the technological tools. Okay, that is there, but again, I don't want to do that, right? Some hesitation is there. Like before COVID, everybody was not comfortable with Zoom or this Google Meets, but now I'm sure that almost 99% teachers are comfortable. So now we cannot escape the technological tools. For an example, Chat GPT or the Jasper or the other tools which are in the market and which will going to stay forever, at least in the next 5 or 10 years, or there would be some other technological tools. So if the students will train the teachers in some of the tools, will create more connection between teachers and students. Any views on this? Because I really like that idea very much, so I thought of why not sharing
Yes,
it.
Yes, it's a great initiative. This is also called as flip teaching. At
Yes.
times, maths teachers use this.
Hmm.
That the teacher has taught the concept and then she asks the child to come up on the board and teach the same concept.
Hmm.
It's the same thing. It's never, there is no age, no bar for learning.
Exactly.
Yes, we can always learn for the students because they learn all these type of things very quickly.
Hmm.
And through the social media there, they do learn. I have been doing this thing for the senior citizens of my
Hmm.
community where our school is. Now, I never knew that the children are teaching technology to their own teachers. Very good initiative by that principal.
Hmm. Like for an example, like if you want to connect with your audience, because right now currently almost the our audience is an educator. Everyone they spend almost 6 to 7 hours on their mobile phones. Not
Right.
less than, but not like इतना करते ही करते हैं. So when we have to make our presence on social media, so Facebook, this WhatsApp, those other days ये जा चुके हैं. Now तो they are on Instagram, on some other handles. So as a teacher, we can also start our own podcast for an example, and we can share
Yeah.
our views, right? So starting a podcast would be a little bit challenging thing. So if some of the students or any of as an educator, you can organize a session how to start a podcast, very small thing, 30-minute
Yeah.
session
Yeah. Yeah.
will
We
create
can.
wonders.
We can.
Yes.
It's very interesting proposal. We all can start podcasts.
Yes, it's a wonderful thing. If anybody want help, I'm here, I can tell.
Sure, Gulshan.
Chalo, let me ask you another question with this small. We'll invest 5 to 6 minutes on this thing. So collaboration between the schools and parents is essential for building resilience in students. So how does the school engages and involve parents in fostering resilience, and what positive outcomes have you observed as a result out of this partnership? This is a Dipinder's ma'am question. If you want to share your response, then I'll go back to the other speakers.
Ye- Yeah. So, like I mentioned the first time when I started speaking about
Mm-hmm.
on this topic, I mentioned about special assemblies. So
Hmm.
that is a good collaborative way of building self-esteem and self-concept amongst the children.
Mm-hmm.
And again, the regular PTMs that we have. So, and there in the PTMs, we should not restrict our talk only to the academic performance.
Hmm.
We have to have other discussions regarding the overall personality development of children,
Exactly.
what are the children's strengths and also their weaknesses.
Hmm.
That is very important. Also, I feel workshops for parents where I feel children parents have to be told that they should learn to say no to children. That is what is missing in today's generation. The parents don't say no. They whatever the child asks, they readily give in. So there also because of that, I mean, parents are facing problems. And then
Challenges with the nuclear families.
yes, yes. Also, active parent teacher association where we can the parents reach out to us with their suggestions, with their inputs.
Hmm.
So it is about building optimism in a child's life when we collaborate like this.
Hmm.
And I can say with surety that children become more expressive when we work in tandem, and they are open to new challenges in life,
Hmm.
and they obviously become more confident in their overall
Exactly.
field,
Hmm.
and certainly they become confident and definitely more resilient in life.
Wonderful. Just one adding point to the Dipinder's ma'am. So we should have a mechanism in place, because if we will ask the parents to share their views or reach out to them, the teachers, it will create some, can say, थोड़ा disturbance हो जाएगा teachers की life में, because we've already discussed in one of the webinars. So there should be mechanism in place. For an example, we can create a Google form, and we can, if you want to share any of the example or any of your feedback, there's
Yeah.
a system in place. So if you are sending
Right.
message on WhatsApp, we will not going to accept that. If you're sending your
Right.
suggestions through the Google form, which is in Linktree, which is, I mean, where you can link all your Google forms and everything in place. For an example, if you want parents to come in the coffee with principal, so there's a mechanism should be in place, because otherwise the parents will be sending messages to the coordinator or the administrator, okay, want to have coffee with the principal. No, there are, you can build a link on Calendly, and from Calendly you can easily mention what are the timings available. So if the timing is available, the teacher can book the session. If not, then check it out, thus the next month or the next month sessions. So just one.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over to you, Mr. Joshi. What are your views on this? How you're handling any of the suggestion with this parents school partnership?
Parents, Yeah, parents in the sense like, for example, first self-awareness of the student is very important.
Hmm.
Students must know that their weakness as well as their strength.
Hmm.
If they have that in the school, like teacher, school teacher can give that particular idea that can be conveyed to the parent. Parent can do is parent can appreciate what the child has done. Now we are losing here that no one is appreciating. Even a
Hmm.
small thing a child has performed, if the parents started appreciating, it boosts the confidence of the child and it started doing more better.
Hmm.
Self-confidence boosting is very important. If the parents do that self-confidence boosting, automatically the results will be developed.
Hmm. Even this reminds me of a perfect example. I'm sure that you must have seen that YouTube video, The Class of Rowdies, right? If not, then please write it down and please show it to your all the educators. A perfect example. It was like shot in Bluebells schools, New Delhi. It's a wonderful video, building confidence within the students community by a teacher. Over to you, Archana ma'am. Any other example that you want to mention specifically with this regards?
Yeah, with the collaboration, as Dipinder ma'am said, that yes, we have to involve the parents to be in tandem with the collaborative efforts of students, teachers, and of course the parents.
Mm-hmm.
It will give very good results. So we are involving parents in our counseling programs also, and we are involving the parents in our annual functions also. So there are parents who are good at performing skits, performing dances, performing various activities. So they help the teachers to create the programs. So
Hmm.
it's not always required we get a person from outside to prepare a function for us.
Hmm.
So we do get a good help from the parents who are interested in all these co-curricular activities.
That's wonderful. Even
We have summer workshops which are being done by the parents for the students of the school. So this is
hmm,
one thing. This initiative we have taken it this year.
it's wonderful suggestions. We can with this, with one shot, we can target two. We can say two targets. One is that saving the cost as well, and fostering this the partnership with parents as well. Over to you, Jyoti ma'am. Any other thing that you want to mention, or we should go to the next?
Yeah, as Pam said, yes, we all celebrate Parents' Day, Grandparents' Day, Mother's Day, and all that. So, in the end of the program, we always have a self reflection where
Hmm.
the parents come up and talk, and we always tell them that please do give us recommendations and not just appreciation, which parents do. And then we also have a program where we call as a parent volunteer program, as
Hmm.
something similar to what Ma'am is also talking about. So especially in the junior classes, we face a lot of issues when a mother teacher is absent. So I had taken it up from a US school where they do this type of a thing, that we ask the parents volunteers who would like to be a teacher for the day. So we
Hmm.
already have the name and the list of the parents with us. So we call that parent to be part of a teacher, to be a teacher with us for 1 or 2 days if we have a crisis situation, and it really helps and works.
Exactly.
And the parent also comes to know that how difficult it is to manage 30 children, and other than the poking the teacher for even a small water bottle or a lunch box for the teacher. So I've seen that how much sensitivity all these parents have got it, since the time we started this parent program, where parent as a volunteer. Even we call parent as a volunteer for reading programs, because we
Hmm.
have seen that children don't read, and parents also do not read with their children. We keep on telling, but they don't read. So we call parents to come and do a reading program. They come to the school, they come to the library, they read books. Children also read with them, and they become buddies with them. And so that the
Hmm.
same thing they do it up at home also. This I got it from Rituparna Ghosh last year in the literature festival in my school. I had called Rituparna Ghosh, ma'am. I think we all
Hmm.
know her. So she had only suggested me, Jyoti ma'am, why don't you start this? It
No, this is a
really
wonderful example. Even this reminds me of a Hindi dialogue that बच्चे वो नहीं करते जो हम कहते हैं, बच्चे वो
uh,
करते हैं जो हम
jo
करते हैं.
karte. Yes,
Right? If we
actually.
want them to not to use the mobile phones, then we also have to first imbibe this habit of not to use mobile phones on dinner table or after 8 or after 9 on our bed. Wonderful. So, Miss Monika, you want to share your experience with us? Anything specifically, being a special education teacher?
I think some internet issue she has.
Okay, fair enough. No worries. Okay, we are at the last part of our webinar, which we call it rapid fire round. It's a very interesting round. So, We've already discussed many things, right? Building resilience in students, right? But still, I will like to have two more views from your side. Anything which you think that can be possible, which might not that you are implementing in your school, but which you think that can be possible in future, right? So anything which you think ki haan, okay, if you want to build the resilience in the future generations, what all things that we can do. So I'm giving you 30 seconds time to think about it. You can think what can be done. We have already discussed so many points, so please do not mention those points we have already discussed. Any other 2 points. First, I'll go to Mr. Joshi, then I'll go to Archana ma'am, then Jyoti ma'am, then last mein Dipinder ma'am. Over to you, 30 seconds time.
Yes, sir.
Okay, over
What
to
we
you.
can do
Yes, Mr. Joshi.
yeah, we can do one thing like can promote problem solving skills
Okay.
and the decision making skills in the schools. If you start developing them in the school level, which may help them to lead their life in the best way.
Wonderful, wonderful. So that we should organize a lot of programs specifically related to both that fostering this problem solving and
Problem
creative
solving.
yes skills. Wonderful. Second, any other thing apart from this, or these are two things?
Uh,
Okay, wonderful. Archana ma'am, first thing.
Yeah, the first thing what we can do, we can start with some affirmations. Nowadays, this affirmations things has become very common. We talk about the well-being, first thing comes the affirmations.
Hmm.
So we should have some affirmation groups. So
Hmm.
where we can ask the child to, just think about himself and say it loud that I can't change what has happened, but I
Hmm.
can change my thought process.
I really like it. I really like it. I live by with one quote. I have watched one movie called Dead Poet Society. Has anyone
Okay.
seen Dead
Yeah,
Poet
yeah, even I
Society?
have seen that.
Yes.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
in that movie, there's a quote: "No matter what others tell you, right? No matter what others tell you, words and ideas can change the world."
Okay.
So when
It's
I
really
see
by heart.
myself in a depressive state or anything like being an entrepreneur, being a trainer, there are many things which has happened in our life. So I live by with this quote, okay, and this always gives me some boost of. Even I have printed myself a poster and I made it in my study room, and every time I share it, so it just keep reminding again and again in my even my WhatsApp status is also carpe diem, which is was there the motto of that movie. Second suggestion, Archana ma'am.
So right now I could only think of one. I think rest we have all given us a little bit
Affirmations,
more
wonderful.
time. We can pass this test.
Over to you, Jyoti ma'am.
I think what Archana ma'am had said it very well. I had also thought of something like that self-reflection activity. Also, we call it as a mirror activity. Every day, look at yourself in the mirror and think for you that you are fearless, you are confident, and you are a learner. So, three things everybody should be learning it up to bring resilience in yourself. And one thing more academically, which I can really suggest is that why don't we give our children three sets of worksheets? Three sets of worksheets which are timed it up as per their levels: average, moderate, and intermediate, and excellent. Because children have to read the excellent level. So why
Hmm.
not we give them three sets of worksheets? It really helps because I'm a Cambridge school trainer also, and
Hmm.
I've seen there they do all these type of things so
Hmm.
that the child knows that he has to reach the excellent level. To achieve that, he has to work very hard. So this I feel academically and to for the mental well-being, two things I could just think of.
Wonderful, wonderful. Over to you, Dipinder ma'am.
My turn, finally. Okay. So I feel first is be mentally prepared that the only constant in life is change. So get used to it. So
Hmm.
that is one. And then avoid negative self talk.
Hmm.
You have to have that trust in yourself so that you can come out to be a better person.
Hmm.
So these are the two things from my
Wonderful,
side.
wonderful, wonderful. This reminds me one of more example. I was training some of the educators, and we discussed this idea in length that we should always portray ourselves as a role model. Whatever our achievements were, and whatever our failures were, we always should I can say we vocal about it. कि भाई मैंने इतना कुछ failure करके मैं यहाँ पे पहुँचा हूँ. right? There was not just one thing. When I started my career with this thing, then we came into this thing, then we came into this thing. So when, as your teacher, we have faced a lot of things. So as a student, you have this liberty to fail also and to try different things also. Miss Monica, you want to add your point? This is the last chance.
It's the mandate of
We can't hear you, we can't see you. Thank you so. Yeah, now we can't see you, but you can write it down. In the meantime, I'm closing this.
yes, she can write.
Yeah, please write it down. There's a comment
Please
section.
write.
Please write it down so that at least your 1 year will be, your 1 hour will be saved. Thank you. Again, thank you everyone for sharing these wonderful suggestions. I'm sure that our audience will be delighted and they're going to laugh, they're going to have fun, they're going to have a lot of good suggestions and they can directly implement in their school. So again, on the behalf of the entire team of Inspired Valley, I thank you everyone for sharing this wonderful, making this initiative wonderful initiative. Thank you.